So welcome, I'm Jane Turner from writewithjane.com, and today I'm talking to Leanne, the Barefoot Medium, who has written a wonderful series of books in psychic development and a book on mediumship. So Leanne, you've been nothing if not busy writing books.
I have indeed. It's certainly been a process of learning and growing, and then sharing some of those tools and tips and techniques that I've learned along the way. The first book in the series is called Basics of Working with Spirit. And that came about because when I stepped into my journey, I found a lot of people saying to me, you need to ground your energy, you need to cleanse and clear and learn how to protect yourself. And a lot of people were saying, visualize this and see this. And I don't work that way. So my strongest sense is not really the visual, it's more about the feel. And so I had to spend a lot of time working out what worked for me rather than what other people were using to ground their energy, to cleanse and to clear and to protect. So the Basics of Spirit book is really a tool to help people to be able to easily understand what grounding means in the first instance, and then offers a variety of different tools and techniques to help you to be able to do that. So it's very practical in nature, and it came about because I couldn't find a resource that helped me. So I wrote this book to be able to help others to have a one-stop shop to find out how to do that for themselves.
And then the second book came onto the horizon. What was that one about?
So the second one was really the tarot book that I wrote that talked people through how they could start reading the tarot intuitively. I got my first deck of tarot cards when I was 13. So I would always play around with them and just ask questions. And what I discovered was that spirit was really teaching me and guiding me in how to work with the cards. And there's two ways that you can read tarot cards. You can use someone else's book meaning and look up a book and read it that way, or you can connect to your intuition, your inner knowing, your wisdom, and bring through what the card means for you. And so what that second book was about was teaching people how to read the tarot intuitively without needing to look up a book.
And then we've got the third book, the divination tools and techniques.
Yeah, so that one brought more of the tools together around how we read psychically. So, you know, there's psychics and there's mediums, and we'll talk no doubt about the mediumship in a minute. When we're reading psychically for another person, what we're doing is tapping into their energy, and we're essentially reading their energy like a tarot card and getting impressions and information and symbols and colors even from that energy field to be able to tell a story about what's happening in that person's world in the moment and what the possibilities are for tomorrow. And so tarot is one tool that we can use to divine for information about what's going on in a person's life and what the possibilities are. We can tap into the aura, the energy field, and read that information. We can use pendulums, automatic writing. And so that book takes people through all of those different tools and what they mean, how they work, and some step-by-step guidance on how they can do readings using those techniques or those tools.
Now, in terms of you being already an author, would you have some tips for my potential authors, the people who are thinking to write a book, probably inspired from what they've heard from you now? What would you say to them? 3 tips for them, how to go about it.
Oh, okay. Well, I would use the same tip around check your story that's going on.
Yeah,
I would always start with that one, because often when it comes to writing, we hold ourselves back saying we're not good at it. So I've got a bit of dyslexia. My spelling is terrible. And so if anyone had told me years ago that I would have written 4 books with more on the way, it wouldn't have been something in my mindset. And so I think that's the first part. The second thing I would suggest is, rather than procrastinating, give yourself half an hour, an hour every morning to just write something.
Yeah, it's great
And
advice.
it could just be, I have no idea what to write. I feel like I'm blocked. Start with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you'll find is, as you keep working through and writing that, it'll start coming out. And just trust your ideas, trust yourself. If you've been given an idea, a vision, a thought, for something that needs to be put on paper, trust that if it helps one person, to put it out there.
Absolutely. I love that. Yes. Well, now, where can people find you, Leanne?
They can find information about everything that I do and my books on my website, thebarefootmedium.com.au, or on all the social media places, Facebook, Instagram, all of those things, The Barefoot Medium.
Now, if you've been thinking that you'd like to write a book yourself, then you can book yourself in for a complimentary author strategy session by reaching out to me at jane@writewithjane.com, and you'll be able to ask me any questions at all that you might have about how to write, publish, or promote a book of your own.